स्मार्ट वर्ल्ड में स्मार्ट बनने के लिए उपयोग करें स्मार्ट ऑन का। स्मार्ट ऑन जो कि एक असिस्ट डिवाइस और मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन है जो आपको हेल्प करेगा किसी भी चीज को, करेंसी को आइडेंटिफाई करने में या पढ़ाई में, क्योंकि इसमें लगा है स्मार्ट कैमरा। स्मार्ट कैमरा के साथ साथ इसमें है स्मार्ट आई जो डायग्राम्स, चार्ट्स, ग्राफ्स को समझने में आपकी हेल्प करेगा। इसके डॉक AI फीचर से आप डॉक्यूमेंट्स को 13 भाषाओं में समझ सकते हैं। इसके AI ट्यूटर फीचर से अपने किसी भी सवाल का जवाब जान सकते हैं और इसके स्मार्ट इमेज फीचर से किसी भी व्हाट्सएप इमेज को आप इस पे अपलोड करके उसकी समरी जान सकते हैं। स्मार्ट ऑन डिवाइस को किसी भी आई ग्लास में फिट करके आप इसका लाभ उठा सकते हैं और इसकी एप्लीकेशन का लाभ उठाने के लिए इसके साथ दी गई केबल को अपने एंड्रॉइड फोन में लगाएं। इस डिवाइस को चार्ज करने की भी आवश्यकता नहीं पड़ती क्योंकि ये फोन से ही पावर लेता है। ये डिवाइस अगर आप खरीदना चाहते हैं या इस पे कोई भी सब्सिडी चाहते हैं तो राब्ता करें हमारी सपोर्ट टीम 7016606884 से। स्मार्ट ऑन जो कर दे आपकी लाइफ को फुल ऑन।
Hello and Namaste. Welcome to the Multilingual Bharat 3.0. Sahyog से निर्माण एक सकारात्मक समाज का, a collaboration between Spectrum, the Awareness Project and Radio Uddan, a series of conversations in Bharat's regional scheduled languages where we bring to you parents, advocates and professionals from all walks of life. Spectrum, the Awareness Project, is a parent support group committed to create awareness about the role of the community in supporting families of children with neurodivergent conditions and persons with disabilities. This year's theme for us is Changing Mindset, Making Inclusion a Reality. Hello, my name is Neena Girish. I am a school librarian turned storyteller and podcaster and a proud member of Spectrum, the Awareness Project. And with me is Anurag Talukdar, corporate leader, autism advocate, and author. Beyond the corporate world, Anurag is deeply committed to autism inclusion and advocacy, a cause close to his heart as a father of a non-verbal autistic son. He understands firsthand the struggles and aspirations of families navigating the autism spectrum, and his advocacy focuses on creating inclusive spaces, supporting caregivers, and raising awareness about the needs of autistic individuals in India. Originally from Guwahati, Anurag is now settled in Bangalore with his wife, Upasna, and their 17-year-old son, Riyan. He has authored 2 books, Anthology 1, Fragments of Life, and his upcoming book, Whispers of Desire, is currently under review. Balancing professional success with personal advocacy, Anurag stands as a voice for inclusion, striving to build a world where neurodivergent individuals receive the understanding and opportunities they deserve. So welcome Anurag. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Neena Madam. Thanks for the great introduction, and it's a pleasure to be having a conversation with you.
Same here. So, as a parent, what changes do you find in yourself from the time of diagnosis of your child and now?
That's a very interesting question. So I'll probably answer this into 2 different subsections. First, the changes in me, obviously as a parent. Then the other is change in me as a human being. And I'll cover the different aspects of life, how it has changed me. So I think the moment my child was diagnosed with autistic, there were indications that he was not neurotypical. So when the formal diagnosis came when he was around 3 years old, I think I knew something was missing. So it was not a shock that really came, but it was more of a confirmation of some doubts that we already have. To be very honest, earlier I have never heard of the term called autism. So the first time I heard the term autism is when we visited a pediatrician when my son was around 1.5 years old. and then the pediatrician has mentioned that probably your son is autistic, and we had no idea what he's talking about. Um, from there, I think we started little, skeptically saying that, hey, something is wrong, but we really don't know what's there. And we tried very hard to make sure, that he becomes a neurotypical child. He should speak, he should give eye contact. Those things were missing. So to answer your question, the first thing, the moment he became autistic, is the realignment of reality. So that is the first thing that happened to us. Like, till that time, we were hoping, clinging to a hope that, hey, some intervention will happen and he will be, okay, he will be normal. So that intervention can be divine or it can be, man-made, but we are hoping for one. But once the diagnosis came, and by the time I had done some little bit of research in the internet, I knew this is something that I have to live with. This is something that, the entire world will change. So I think the realignment of reality, the realignment of expectation, that is the first thing that happened. And then the second thing is that moment we got to know that the child is not a neurotypical one, he will need a lifelong support. So then the reality hits you saying that, hey, I probably cannot have a life where, I will probably slog for 25, 30 years and thereafter I can relax and let my child take care of me in my old age. So that liberty I don't have. So that means I have to be more focused in my career, more focused in my investment, more focused so that, I don't have to just take care of me and my wife. She was a housewife at that point of time. I have to take care of a child who will probably never be independent. So this was a massive change. I think till that time I was taking my life very easy. Well, I had a pretty good career even up to that time. I was a manager in an MNC even before I turned 30. But then, I actually was looking for two things. One was, I wanted a growth, but also I didn't want to take risk. So it was a combination of both, because I can't be in a, organization which can probably lay me off. So I could never venture into startups or something like that. So I had to stick to those organizations which are stable, which can give me a continuity of my service. Also, I had to upskill myself continuously. Okay. So I think the formal diagnosis came around the year 2011 when he was 3 years old. And from there, I had to be very focused. I did plethora of courses, certifications. I even enrolled for a PhD program, which I didn't complete, by the way. Is that obsession to stay ahead of the curve? Because in the end, I had understood that being born and blessed with an autistic child is also a test of my temperament. Like, it's a constant battle. There is a stress at the domestic front, and there is a stress that I have to bring food to the table continuously. So these two things, realignment of my expectation, and also be more focused with the money, and also my skill was most important one. Thanks.
Oh, that was so thoughtful of you to align things as you understood what it is, right? So I just want to ask you, as a caregiver, there must have been times when you went through burnouts. So how did you try to overcome those situations?
Well, that's a very, very interesting question. And I believe all the parents having children in the spectrum, they will be actually, eager to hear this, that everyone's journey is different. So our journey has been totally different. So my kid, till the time of lockdown, so my kid is born in 2008. So the lockdown came when he was around 12 years old. Till that time, he had a very set routine. He will sleep by 11 in the night and he will get up by 7. Perfect. You couldn't ask more than that, and I had all the normal routine, and, I could go office in time. I never faced any challenges. Okay. But lockdown was a major game changer in a negative way for him, because when lockdown was imposed, he could not understand what's happening. So we had we were in a rented apartment in Hyderabad at that point of time that was overlooking the national highway, and he could see the vehicles moving all the time, and he could go and sit in the balcony and watch all those vehicles, and he feels happy. But once the lockdown was imposed, there was a total isolated streets below, right? There's not a single vehicle on the otherwise very traffic heavy roads. So he got confused and he could understand something is wrong. And then he got in panic mode. Then he will stare at the road the whole night expecting someone to come out in the road. So that's the time when his entire sleeping pattern changed. So then he started staying awake on the nights and sleeping in the days. We are currently recording this session at 10:30 a.m. He has just gone for sleep now. So he has actually altered his AM to PM and vice versa. And that has really affected both me and my wife because, earlier, maybe even probably 6 months till now, he was hyper. He will be keep running here and there. He will be singing and you don't know what he's gonna do. So one of us have to stay awake. Like, no matter what happens, both of us can't sleep and we don't have any other, offspring. So he's the only child we have. So if I am awake, she'll be sleeping, or if he is awake, I'll be sleeping. That's how I managed it. But now with time, we're also getting old, and it's like we are both in our mid-40s. So nowadays we can't do it. So sometimes I will sleep off while sitting in the sofa only. So that is something new that has happened. Okay, welcome to middle ages to both of us. But thankfully, even his nowadays he stays awake, but he doesn't create much of ruckus anymore. Earlier he used to jump around, so those things have reduced. So I think this lack of sleep was something a really devastating impact for both of us. And the other one is the social isolation. I think being autistic, having an autistic child in the house, not many people come to our house, and not many people invite us to their house. So even if we come to our hometown, which we come usually once a year, the interactions are bare minimum. Like, only the close friends who actually invite us, and I'm thankful for that. Otherwise, and people are scared. I believe, I don't blame them. And that is where, role of awareness and the one initiative that Radio Uddan is doing is not just for this community having autistic children. How to build awareness outside the families that have autistic kids, outside the families those have children with disability. I think that is the true taste of the society, the inclusion of non-neurotypical children. So yes, it's a constant battle, but to answer you, the biggest burnout is lack of sleep. How I manage it, I think I have a flexible schedule at office, and that has really helped me. And generally we log in a little late, maybe 11 o'clock in the morning, so that allows me some time to sleep. So I wake up pretty late, and I go to sleep by 5, I wake up by 10. So it's about taking one day at a time. I cannot have a set routine. That liberty I can't have. And people say, why don't you go for a morning walk? Well, I don't do morning walk, I do evening walk. So I have did some micro changes in my routine, but we have tried to keep our functioning to the optimum level as much possible. Not a perfect family, but not totally and a chaotic family either. So we have readjusted our expectation. Coming back to the first question,
I got it.
And yes, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, I think this one message or the thought that you have shared about how you have balanced your routine and other things just for the sake of your child's, bringing. This will be helping many other parents who are going through such situation, and hope those who are listening to this will understand how important it is to support one another instead of staying away from such issues. Understand awareness is very important. So next thing that I wanted to ask you is enable, right?
True.
What does that stand for, and what role does enable play in changing mindsets?
I think enable is one of my recent involvement in my current organization, and I am so proud of it. So in our organization, I work for a multinational corporation, and it's a US based headquartered company. So in US, they had started a employee resource group, ERG is called. So there are many ERGs in that multinational company. So one of the ERG employee resource group that caught my attention is something called Enable. So they focus in bringing more diversity and inclusion to the workspace, in the workplace. So Uh, they are huge in US. We don't have such a big setup in India. Okay, but I had a couple of discussions with our HR global lead, and she was very, very supportive of this initiative. And I expressed her the interest and also the rationale why I'm passionate about it. Like, I am a father of autistic kid,
Yeah.
and she gave me all the support. Then I got support from the global leads for this employee resource group called Enable. So Enable, as I said, is an employee resource group. It is over and above our regular work that we do. It is completely voluntary, and we bring more awareness about various disabilities to the employees, and also how to make the workplace more accepting and more accommodating to people with disability, and how to give these employees the confidence that, hey, you can be as any other employee in the organization. But in India, the focus is more also about, at the broader societal level, not just at our employees. So it's also about, making other employees empathetic. So that is something else we are also doing. And I'll take just one more minute to explain Enable. So in Enable, we actually focus on two kinds of disability. One disability is something that others can just observe and understand that, hey, this person is disabled. Okay. So these are called visible disability. Like if a limb is missing, it is obvious, right? So it's called visible disability. And, it is obvious to others just by a mere glance.
Yeah.
And the problem is in the corporate world is the prevalence of non-visible or invisible disability. These are the disability that's, it's totally affecting the life of the person having this disability, but others are not even aware of. Classic example is diabetes. If someone is having diabetes, they don't have a normal life, right? You can't expect a person with diabetes to sit constantly in a meeting for probably 3 hours. Difficult, right? And also, like if someone is having a lower back pain, suppose slip disc, I have a slip disc. If you look at me, I look perfectly normal, right? But I know I can't do many activities that others take for granted. Like I can't sit the whole day. I have to get up and walk around the office to make sure my back is still performing well. So the list is quite long. It's about building the sensitivity among the supervisors and senior leadership also, because in the end, the acceptance and change in the organization are always top driven. So these are the roles of the various ERGs that we have in our current organization. And I take pride in part of this organization because these ERGs are massively valued by the top leadership. And every time there is a strategic review, ERGs come a focus point. So basically, it's not a lip service that they are doing. They actually mean that, these ERGs can make a change for the employees who are working for this organization. And also, by empowering the members of these ERGs, we are trying to reach out to the broader societal level through one family at a time. So yeah, hope I answered the question.
Yes, you have. And this will help a lot many who are listening. So what message would you like to give to the community?
Well, I'll take some time in this. So I think community as a whole are composed of two sets of people. One are the families who are blessed to have kids with autism. The other one, people who don't know much about autism. So I'll cover both of them. So first, let's start with families that already have kids with autism. Okay. And kid can be of any range, right? So even the kid can be 30 years, absolutely fine. So I think it depends. As we know, autism is a spectrum. So every child is different.
Yeah.
I think it's high time all the parents, all the families having autistic members should be vocal about the rights that they deserve. I think it's a constant battle, but we have made tremendous stride into it. I remember a decade ago, autism probably was not even under a normal disability list by Government of India. Now, autism is a part of, disability list released by government. Yeah. That was a big relief. Okay. And I think the process of disability certificate has become little convenient, but still a lot more to go. But I understand it's not so easy, government is trying the level best. I think by being vocal and being partner with the government is something that I will strongly advocate to these families, that, be the voice, okay, and partner with the government, and government is receptive. It's not that, government doesn't listen to you. I'm not saying this because I'm part of the government earlier, not because of that, but genuinely government does listen. It may take time, and it's not easy being a country of almost 140 plus crores. Okay, it's not easy, but we are significant people. And other thing is, I'll say, be part of some research that this autism community is doing. And I think the more scientifically we present our challenges and give some solutions, I think government will be more receptive. So I think advocacy and research are the needs of the hours, and a systematic research is required. And no, let me tell you one last thing. Like in US, we have something called Center for Disease Control, CDC. They do a biannual, survey about how many kids are autistic, and the proportion of autistic kids have grown like alarmingly. Like when 2014 I was writing my thesis, I think the rate of autism was 1 in 58, if I'm not mistaken, and now I think it's 1 in 36. That's from US. From India, I think even we don't have reliable data. It's not my saying, okay. There are many papers have been published which clearly says that, we don't have reliable data on that. So first we have to know what is the prevalence of autism. Till that time we are at dark, and being in dark, we cannot say, everything is fine. No, not really. I think it's a high time we as parents of autistic kids become more vocal, and also, we give suggestions in a more positive manner with the intention to make a change. So that's for the message to the families. And also I will say, it's good to, be very, very ambitious that the kid will become normal, the kid will be neurotypical. Nothing wrong in that. They may not. But don't fall, prey to, some vested people who come and, make a fool out of them and take away all the money. There have been so many cases I have come across. I think being parents with autistic kids, we become emotional. We look for interventions beyond, normal human logic. We should avoid that. I think scientific temperament is the need of the hour. Question: if someone comes and claims something that I will make your kids' autism go away, ask how. Don't fall prey to, false claims. So I think that is some of the serious, suggestion I will have. Now, coming back to, message to society, I think acceptance. I think acceptance will be the need of the hour. Acceptance, how you can build. Either it's a familiarity, like, the kid is born in the same locality, has stayed in the same locality. I think the neighbors will be accepting the kid, saying that, hey, I have known the kid's father since he was born. Now this kid, unfortunately, is on the spectrum. We are accepting him. So that's easy. Acceptance is easy in case of a joint family. But nowadays, when you shift to urban area, you don't see joint families, a nuclear family. Right. And families don't talk to each other. Like I stay in Bangalore, I don't know who my neighbors are. And they don't talk to us, we don't talk to them. So it has led to a social isolation. And that is not something that an autistic kid can understand. They desire affection, they desire inclusion. If they are vocal, they can say it. If they can't express it, then you have to understand. So this is where, I think as a message, a request to the community at large that, autistic kids are just like any other kid. Only thing is that, they may not be as sharp as other kids. They may lack the communication skill, but they still need to be treated with dignity. They still need to be treated with all the understanding that you will show to any other human being. I think the empathy is something I will sincerely request, and I think government can probably do certain kind of intervention to build a more empathetic society by giving some messages in the mass media, maybe TV or radio, newspaper ads. Okay, but that's for government. But as parents with autistic children, I think we have taken baby step, and this is a great initiative by Radio Uddan. So I really appreciate Radio Uddan for giving this opportunity to us on a recurring basis. And I think we are making small change 1 year at a time. So yeah, thank you.
True. Yeah, thank you so much. And as you said in your message, let us hope that your message goes through even to your neighbors, and this social, being alone socially, that changes. So thank you, Anurag, for taking out time for sharing your experiences, your insights, that is very much in need of our hour for many parents who are in search for what next, right? And also a huge thanks to the audience for lending their ears and supporting this initiative. A big shout out to Mr. Danish Mahajan and his team at Radio Uddan for collaborating with us to spread this message to far and wide. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Opportunities to be inclusive and accessible to everyone. And when it comes to banking, we at Union Bank of India ensure inclusive and accessible banking opportunities. A decade ago, we pioneered truly accessible talking ATMs in India. In 2022, our commitment to equality paved the way for Union Access, a dedicated digital accessibility initiative, testament to our commitment to breaking barriers and bridging the digital divide. Be it mobile banking Vyom app, online banking, websites, and for all of our digital banking channels, we have enhanced accessibility significantly with enablement of digital access. We stand united to provide equal banking convenience for all.